Hello, everybody. My name is Fratomon, and today we are going to be reviewing the Royal Rumble 2016. Today is the day after the Royal Rumble when I'm recording this. It should be up today as well. Uh, and just, wow. I can't get over what I watched last night and just how excited I was. I popped so hard. I marked out like a fucking wacky guy, okay? And I just lost my mind last night. Uh, this is a comprehensive review of every match that occurred, my thoughts on each, and when it comes to the Royal Rumble, I might get a little more in depth on how things went. So let's just get it started here with the opener of the show. This is the 29th Royal Rumble pay per view of all time. This is the 29th Royal Rumble pay per view to have occurred under the WWE banner, and honestly, over the past couple of years, the Royal Rumbles have not been good. I will tell you right now, 2015, I believe, was the worst Royal Rumble I've ever watched. It was not really super well worked. The finish was not good. It was just an aggravating thing to watch for anybody that was a fan of wrestling at that point. But this year, before we even get started, I will tell you right now, the words greatest of all time get thrown around a lot. But this Royal Rumble was the greatest Royal Rumble of all time. There has never been a better Royal Rumble than that one last night, I believe. Better than 92, better than 97, 98, better than 2001, better than anything. This was the best Royal Rumble of all time. But let me get into the first match tonight. It was a last man standing match between Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose, who was defending his Intercontinental Championship. It was a great match. Great way to open up the show. I don't know why I didn't think that they were going to open up the show with that, because it was pretty obvious that they would. Why would they not have a last man standing match open up the show when probably both those guys are going to be in the final match of the night anyway, and they're going to need time to recover? So they ended up sending out Owens and Ambrose first. Great match. So many insane spots when they broke the barricade off of that cannonball from Owens. Whew. That was insane. They had great use of chairs. The chair shots were insane. At one point, Ambrose threw a chair at Kevin Owens' head, and it just wrapped around his head, and he was just punching him. Oh my god, it was great. I hope they don't get fined for that. I know it's not really... it's kind of like a chair shot that had, it's kind of not, but whatever. During the match, they also had a spot where Owens set up a couple tables. Didn't get used right away, but at one point, Owens did have a table set up inside the ring. I'm pretty sure it was him that set it up, not Ambrose. I think Ambrose only set up one of the tables in general, but Owens set up a table, and he did his suplex from the top rope, where he kind of like spins out of it and slammed him through. That was a really cool spot. There was a spot where Ambrose got back body dropped into a couple of chairs that were open. That was pretty crazy as well. They really risked everything in that match. These guys, they destroyed each other. They have great chemistry, might I add. Ambrose and Owens, I could watch them wrestle over and over and be very entertained, but I think yesterday was the end of their feud for sure. But Ambrose ended up winning by throwing Owens, or kind of pushing Owens off the top rope out of the ring through two tables that were stacked on top of each other. He crashed through, and he lost the match by that way. Of course, it was a last man standing match, but it was a great match. So well worked. Just so well worked. Ambrose and Owens are some of the best workers in the WWE right now, maybe the best. I know a lot of people would say something about that. But they're probably the best workers in the WWE right now, and that was an insanely good match, and it reminded me why I love Owens so much. But that was the opener. Great Intercontinental Championship match. I'll give it a 5 out of 5. Great match. Next up was the Tag Team Championship match. It was The New Day versus the Usos for what feels like the 100th time, even though it's really only happened like twice before. But it was the Usos challenging the New Day. It was, of course, Kofi Kingston and Big E, not Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods came out with Francesca 2, who is their new trombone, and he was playing it, of course. But the match was okay. Of course, the New Day ended up winning. They defeated the Usos. They had a pretty good amount of spots. They had decent stuff that made me think the New Day was going to lose. Points when like an Uso got like thrown over the barricade, and Kofi was out of it, and another Uso came in. They hit a big super kick on Kofi, but toward the end of the match, an Uso was going for a one of their splashes, and Big E, who had tagged himself in moments prior but no one had noticed, except for the ref, of course, slid into the ring and caught the Uso. I think it was Jey Uso. Caught the Uso and hit him with the big ending. And it was all in all a pretty good match. Slightly sloppy at parts, but nothing too terrible. Definitely the second best match of the night outside of the Rumble. So I'd give it a 4 to 5. Not too bad. Nothing to really write home about. But aside from that, it was a pretty good match. Next up was easily what was the worst match of the night, in my opinion. Wasn't well worked. These guys don't have good chemistry at all. Alberto Del Rio versus Kalisto for the United States Championship. The United States Championship that has changed hands twice over the past week. Or 2 weeks, I'm sorry. 2 weeks, which is just stupid. There's no reason why Kalisto should have beat Del Rio on Raw 2 weeks ago just to lose it 4 days later. Really just a day later because they taped SmackDown. You know, it didn't make any sense. But Kalisto and Del Rio, the match was just, it was sloppy. It was sloppy, and I don't think these guys have chemistry at all. I don't think Del Rio has ever had chemistry with anybody that's worn a mask. Because the guy can't keep away from trying to rip it off. You know, you have a match with Alberto Del Rio and, like, say back in the day, Rey Mysterio, Sin Cara, he's constantly trying to rip off their masks. And in this one, when they needed the flow to carry it, because they needed Kalisto's speed to keep people interested in the boring matches of Alberto Del Rio, because I really don't like Alberto Del Rio. I've never liked Alberto Del Rio. Alberto Del Rio is extremely boring, and there's nothing to him. He's got no charisma. He's got no, people say, oh, when he had Ricardo Rodriguez, oh, when he was a face, oh, when he had his cars, he's still boring. You want me to buy that your gimmick is that you're a rich Mexican aristocrat? Well, be interesting about it. Speak in Spanish often, instead of just speaking in Spanish just to call people dogs. Okay? Call them chihuahuas, you know? Just, there's nothing entertaining about Alberto Del Rio. There's never been anything entertaining about Alberto Del Rio. I don't care what you say about Lucha Underground, what you say about this, that, and the other thing. Alberto Del Rio is boring, and I wish he was gone. And I hope he's leaving soon. But, Kalisto's solid in the ring. He was pretty good in the ring. It was not his fault that his mask kept getting torn at and thrown in his eyes so he couldn't execute things properly. It's not his fault that Del Rio doesn't know how to do things right, and Del Rio got thrown into the corner at one point after ripping off the turnbuckle pad, and he had to force himself to hit his own head on the frickin' turnbuckle because he wouldn't let Kalisto execute a move correctly to Hurricane Rana him up into the frickin' thing. You know, it was so sloppy, and it was the worst match of the night, and I feel bad for Kalisto. But he is again United States champion for the second time. He is a new U.S. champ, and I hope he actually holds on to it this time, and we don't see Del Rio anymore soon. Next match was the final match before the Rumble. It was Charlotte versus Becky Lynch. You know, it was probably Ric Flair's fault, but I didn't like this match either. I think it was the second worst match of the night. I think it was also pretty sloppy. Ric Flair's interactions with Becky were terrible. They were not entertaining. They were not well executed. It really seemed like Ric Flair didn't know what he was doing. The point when he threw his blazer jacket thing on her was just stupid. You know, he took forever to do it. Becky was like underneath it because she realized she needed to sell it, and she was like, "Oh, I can't get this jacket off my face, and I could just easily just put one hand off and just rip it away," you know. And it resulted in Charlotte winning, retaining. It was not entertaining. It was not an entertaining match at all. It was not a good thing to lead into the Rumble with, in my opinion. Definitely they need to look into Charlotte losing this belt soon. And thankfully, after the match, Sasha Banks came out to a huge freaking pop from that crowd. Sasha Banks came out and she attacked Becky Lynch, made it look like she was going to align with Charlotte, but she didn't do that. She ended up attacking Charlotte too and posing with the title belt. So I'm really hoping that leads to a triple threat match at Mania. Becky, Sasha, and Charlotte, the three girls that came up from NXT, and I would love to see them in a triple threat match with I guess either Becky or Sasha going over. As long as it's not Charlotte still champ, I'll be happy. But all right, so that brings us to the Royal Rumble match. Every other match, you know, obviously the tag team titles was about 4 out of 5. 5 out of 5 for the Intercontinental Championship, 1 out of 5 for the U.S. title, 2 out of 5 for the Divas Championship. This Royal Rumble was 10 out of 5. Two sets of 5 stars. This was the greatest Royal Rumble of all time. Like I said earlier, you could talk about 1992, 96, 97, 95, 98, 99. You know, you can talk about all those. This is the greatest Royal Rumble of all time. I'm going to tell you why. We started off with Rusev and Roman Reigns. Roman made quick work of Rusev and threw him right out of this match. Like, we're talking, they put out a member of... Oh, and by the way, Lana came out with Rusev, so Lana's back. But, we're talking about, making Roman look strong to open up the show. To open up the match, I'm sorry. So they put him out there with a member of the whatchamacallits, the League of Nations. They put him out there with that, and they were like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's let Roman Reigns really get over, and we'll throw him out. And we'll have him throw out Rusev. Sorry about that. Well, he threw out Rusev, and then the world exploded. And then the world exploded. AJ Styles made his WWE re-debut, if you will. It's really like his debut, but it's his re-debut. He came out... I'm sorry. He came out, and the world stopped. Time stopped. They wouldn't show the Titantron right away, because on Titantron it was saying stuff like AJ Styles and the Phenomenal One, I am phenomenal. But when he stepped out, they showed, and that crowd lost their freaking minds. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just shocked. I was shocked then. I'm still shocked now. AJ Styles finally made his debut. And he came out, and he fought with Roman Reigns. He took down Roman Reigns. They let AJ Styles stand toe-to-toe with the WWE Champion. The guy who's supposed to be the most over dude in the company. They had AJ Styles go one-on-one with him. And they fought each other. And I can't get over it. I really can't get over it. So throughout the match, guys came out. One of the funnier moments was R-Truth coming out. And he did what I figured he was going to do. And he ran out, and he pulled a ladder from underneath the ring, and he went in the ring and set it up. And he climbed it and was like, "Where's the briefcase? Where's the briefcase?" Thinking that it was Money in the Bank and not the Royal Rumble. Kane just quickly threw him out of the ring and threw the ladder out. And it was pretty entertaining. It was funny. But the Wyatt family was out for a while. Luke Harper and Braun Strowman came out. They just pretty much cleaned house of a lot of people, like Kane, Big Show, Stardust, Neville. They were all people that fell victim to Strowman and Luke Harper in this match. After a while, Kevin Owens came out, Dean Ambrose came out. They both came out back to back. They were, beating the crap out of people. They were doing this, that, and the other. Eric Rowan came out, whatever. But Sami Zayn made his main roster return. He came out and he went after Kevin Owens. It was pretty entertaining, actually, to watch them all brawl with each other. Like Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. There was parts where AJ Styles was brawling with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens actually was the person that eliminated AJ Styles from the Royal Rumble, which I think was a great idea, because you know that the fans weren't going to turn on Kevin Owens. It was just a heel move, and he definitely got the reaction he should have gotten, and not a reaction of "screw you, we wanted AJ Styles to win." So that was a pretty safe thing to do, and it was a good idea. But Sami Zayn returned. Him and Owens brawled. Owens, I believe, was eliminated by Sami Zayn. But Sami Zayn didn't last long, as he was eliminated by Braun Strowman. And basically the Wyatt family was taking things over. They quickly eliminated Mark Henry. But then Brock Lesnar came out at number 23. And he pretty much destroyed the entire Wyatt family. Threw them all out. He beat up Braun Strowman so bad. So freaking bad he beat up Braun Strowman. He beat up Luke Harper pretty bad too. But he tossed all of them out. But they came back in and started beating the crap out of him when Bray Wyatt came out. And Bray Wyatt, I believe, was number 27? I know The Miz came out in between that, and The Miz was... I hate The Miz so much as well. The Miz and Del Rio came out like back-to-back, so that was hell for me. I hate Del Rio, and I hate The Miz. I hate The Miz more than I hate Del Rio. But The Miz came out, and he was just doing commentary because he was afraid of Brock Lesnar, and he waited until Lesnar got eliminated before he went into the Rumble. But, it was just very annoying. I hate The Miz. But Brock came out, and he was beating up everybody until Bray Wyatt came out, and then Bray Wyatt had the Wyatt family attack. Brock fought them off once, but then finally they all conglomerated together, and they eliminated Brock Lesnar, which means they're setting up for Bray Wyatt versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, which I'm okay with. I know Bray Wyatt's just going to lose, but I love Brock, so it's okay. Anything with Brock's good for me. But Dolph Ziggler was out at number 28. He didn't last very long. He lasted a few minutes, but he didn't do anything. Sheamus came out at number 29. Roman Reigns returned. If I didn't mention earlier, I'm sorry. Roman Reigns was attacked by the League of Nations. He was pulled under the bottom rope, and Vince McMahon was all happy about it, and they all kicked him in the face. Rusev hit his super kick. Alberto Del Rio hit his super kick. Sheamus hit him with a bro kick, and then they set him on a table. There was 3 announce tables because there was also a French and Spanish announce table there, of course, and they had Rusev run across all the tables and hit a huge splash through a table on Roman Reigns, breaking the French, I think it was the French announce table, or the Spanish, one of them. But they broke the announce table, and it was just insane. They beat him up, they destroyed him, and he still walked out under his own power and left. And then he came back when Sheamus was making his entrance. Roman Reigns, Superman punched Sheamus, and, run into the ring. And then Triple H came out at number 30. I love Triple H. Triple H is my Lord and Savior. He is my God. He is the man that makes wrestling worth watching to me. I love Triple H. Triple H is the man. That's it. That's all I can say. Triple H is the man.